Tilea Chapter 1, My little sister became a Chuyunibyo. Right now it's been over 10 years since I was reincarnated. I was reincarnated as a female. My name is Tilea. This year I'll turn 17. Because I have memories of being a man, there were a lot of inconveniences, but I'm already used to it. As for my appearance, you could say that with the silky hair that runs down to my waist, my big double-eyelided eyes, and a somewhat dignified atmosphere, I'm a Bishaojo. And my family runs a restaurant. The name of the shop is Baram. The name comes from playing around with the name of the town I was born in, Baraga. Restaurant Baram is the only restaurant in town, and everybody in town says that it's delicious. That reputation is all thanks to Dad. Dad's skill in cooking is exceptional. I want to hurry up and be able to cook food that people admire as well, so each day I exert myself in my cooking training. In my old life I was a super useless guy that didn't even do his housework properly, but right now a few dishes in the restaurant are being left to me. It's because of Dad's strict but warm guidance. Dad is a respectable person who's not only reliable, but has good cooking skills. And Mom is somebody you can respect as well. She supports her inflexible cook of a husband, and is a gentle person who is considerate of others. And, I have a younger sister who's 3 years younger than me. Her name is Timo, and I'm not sure if it was a sudden mutation, but unlike my parents and I, she has silver hair. Anyway, her silver hair is beautiful. Sometimes it catches the light of the sun and sparkles, and I unconsciously end up looking at it in a daze. I've been taking care of Timo since she was young. Timo goes Onichan, Onichan at every chance, and anyway, she's just cute. I'm not sure if it's the recoil effect from being an only child in my previous life, but I'm particularly affectionate with Timo. I love my family right now, and I want to master cooking. That's why even though this is a parallel fantasy universe, I don't think about going on adventures or anything at all. There's no meaning to that. And moreover, there's no demon king in this world. It seems that there was one in the distant past. He was called Demon King Zorg, and he was ripped into pieces and was destroyed by humans, beastmen, dragonoids, and the other people who lived there. It's a completely standard story, and is what you'd call a fairy tale. I guess even in parallel worlds, you get things like this. In my old world as well there were stories about Oni and Kappa after all, things you'd call myths and folklore. The people of this world seem to believe in the Demon King, proportional to the amount of scientific advancement they're missing, but because I have the knowledge of science from my old world, it doesn't really fit with me. It's probable that a powerful elf or beastman was called the Demon King. That's why there's no fantasy-esque setting of the hero defeating the Demon King. Adventurers don't go dungeon raiding either, and their main job is hunting wild animals called magic beasts. It might be more on the mark to call them hunters, rather than adventurers. No matter how much magic we can use, there's not much romance or dreams in this world. But well, had I suffered an outbreak of Chuyunibyo like I had in my previous life, I'd have probably gleefully become an adventurer and traveled the world though, huh? Right now my dream is to be a normal cook who loves her family, to continually refine my cooking, and to help Restaurant Baram prosper. And I was living a fulfilling everyday life and heading towards that dream, but lately something's been troubling me. Actually, it's about my cute little sister, Timo. Even though she used to go Onichan, Onichan so much, these last few days she's been oddly distant. I do think that I went a little overboard with the skinship as well, yesterday, but anyway, when I was rubbing her cheeks and saying Timo, you're so cute and healthy today as well, she wordlessly brushed me away. Is this what they call the rebellious phase? This is too sad. What do I do if Timo ignores me today as well? The more I think about it, the worse my anxiety is getting. Would it be better if I gave her some room for a while? No, at times like these, you have to act normally, right? I made up my mind, and decided to call out to Timo. Timu, is this where you were? It's time to help out at the shop, you know. Human, choose your words wisely. I am one of the 6 demon generals under Demon King Zorg, Camilla. How could this be? My little sister suffered a Chuyunibyo outbreak. Timo Chapter 2, Demon General Camilla? Who's that? Tilea, my beloved little sister suddenly suffered an outbreak of Chuyunibyo. I froze from the shock. Humph. Well, no matter. Today is one that should be celebrated, for my kin have all awakened. Out of mercy, I shall spare your life. After spewing out that arrogant line, Tilea walked outside looking extremely disinterested. This is bad. What did Tilea say? Demon King. And 6 demon generals. And it seems that she's even come up with a position for herself that cuts straight to the point. From my experience, Tilea is probably obsessed with this right now. If I don't immediately take action, Tilea's future is in danger. To chase her down, I leapt out of the house. Where did she go? I looked around to find her. Found her. She's gotten pretty far. Tilea was already about to leave the town. I thought I had immediately jumped out of the house, but it seems that was wrong. The time probably said while I was in shock. Having figured it out, I observed Tilea. It seems that Tilea is going somewhere. Should I chase her down and call out? No, wait. If I'm not wrong, she said kin. Is she meeting with somebody? Maybe Tilea has made friends with some other Chuyunibyo. Rather, it might be the influence of her new friends that caused this. That's definitely it. I decided to stealthily follow her. If she has friends with Chuyunibyo as well, then just lecturing her isn't enough after all. I need to fix those friends as well, or else. I followed Tilea from a few hundred meters back so that she wouldn't notice. Once in a while Tilea would look back though, and making sure I didn't get caught was really tough. I constantly hid in the shadows of buildings while I moved. But gee, Tilea sure is fast. While I was maintaining the distance, it seems that we'd crossed over a mountain before I'd noticed. I've never gone past MT Baraga like this, you know? No matter what, isn't this too fast? In terms of car speed, I feel like we're going 60 kilometers an hour. Could it be that we're actually doing something really ama? No, there's no way that's true. I almost had a relapse. I accidentally had a Chuyuni kind of thought just like my old life. This is one of those. Where I'm thinking it's strange because I was considering things from my old life's sense of values. That's it. In this world, isn't it obvious that everybody is fast? We don't have any cars after all, and our movement is basically all on foot, so it's natural that our legs are trained. And 60 kilometers an hour is just how it feels. It's not like I'm actually using a machine to measure it. It's probably actually an ordinary pace. Because I'm stuck with the sense from my old world, it feels fast to me. After saying to this, I followed after Tilea. Even so, Tilea probably counts as one of the faster people in this world. Even though Tilea is only 14 years old and doesn't move much, she's running as fast as me, a cook that trains hard every day. If she trained, she might make it in life as an athlete. Only, I'm not sure if this world has the concept of sports. At any rate, my lifestyle involves nothing but cooking, so I'm quite ignorant about this world. My parents are both completely into cooking as well after all, and in this small town, which would really be better called the countryside, there's no good flow of information. If this world does have sports, then I want to make Tilea do it. I think that exercising healthily will cure her Chuyunibyo after all. While I was thinking about all this, it seems that we've arrived at the destination. Tilea just walked straight into a large cave. Oh. So there was a cave in a place like this. From a glance, it seemed to be just a normal cave. What's different was that there was a gorgeous door placed in front, and on each side were ominous statues. From what I can tell, it completely smells of Chuyuni. There's no doubt that Tilea's companions are in here. And what's more, it seems that these companions of her are rich. The hobbies of the rich. I'm sure they're selfish ones. I'm going to break my back convincing them. But, I can't get scared here. For Tilea's sake, I gathered my courage and entered the cave. The inside of the cave is dim and looks exactly where a monster would live. They did an excellent job in finding such a suitable place. I'm honestly praising the proactivity of this Chuyunibyo patient. I searched further into the cave. When I got further in, just how many hundreds of people were there? A huge crowd of people was lined up before one man. With everybody's attention on him, the man was clad completely in armor, and this too was an extremely cliched appearance. I stealthily eavesdropped on the fully armored man. Everybody, the long-awaited day comes to us at last. Yeah. Because of the armored man's words, the surrounding people all screamed excitedly at once. Huh? Huh? Could it be that some sort of hobby event is being held today? I judged the crazy enthusiasm to be as intense as the concerts in my old world. So there were these kinds of cosplay parties in this world as well, huh? When I looked about the inside of the cave, I found that beastmen and birdmen and people of all types of appearances were gathered here. But still, just when did Tilea find out about this event? Lately I've been immersing myself in my cooking after all. I'm reflecting on the fact that I didn't notice Timu's change. The man's speech continued. Zorg-sama's revival is at hand. We must reform our armies immediately. It is as you say. Please instruct us. Very well. Then go forth. Offer living sacrifices to Zorg-sama. We will destroy the humans. Sir. All for the sake of the great Zorg-sama, milord. Once the speech was finished, most of the people around the armored man left. The ones remaining were just the armored man, Tilea, and about 10 others. Yase. How is the present state of the 6 demon generals? Sir. As of present, among the 6 demon generals, only Luxembourg-sama and Po-sama have not awakened. There are individual differences when it comes to the awakening. It cannot be helped. The destruction of the royal capital will be carried out by Camilla. My unit alone is plenty. Tilea declared this, bri.m.m.i.n.g with ambition and power. That remark, that tone, and more than anything, that bewitching smile as she flicked her hair back pulled her surroundings into a whirlpool of charm. Ha! No good, no good. They spoke so believably about everything that I ended up getting drawn in. It seems they're planning some kind of interesting event, huh? There's magic in this world after all, so I'm sure it'll be even more fun than the events in my old world. Tilea seemed somewhat really on board with it, so for a moment I even ended up thinking that it really wasn't Tilea, but the demon general Camilla. Tilea definitely has talent as an actress. But, right now as her older sister, I have to clearly scold her. Skipping out on helping with the store, and playing around at this hour is a problem. As I thought, when Chuyunibyo gets too extreme, no good can come out of it. I stepped forward from behind the rock, and gallantly headed down to the clearing where Timu's group was gathered. H.E.L.Lo, I'm Timu's older sister, Tilea. It seems that lately you've been kind enough to let Tilea play with you. I gave the armored man a light nod, and conveyed my thanks. And then I turned to Tilea and, Tilea. What happened to helping out at the store? I'm not saying that you can't play at all. But you need to do the things you're supposed to, told her that very clearly. Chapter 3, I am the Demon General Camilla. My name is Camilla Beaumalfarand, one of the 6 demon generals who serve Demon King Zorg directly. With Zorg-sama as our leader, we, the demon army, destroyed many living beings in the previous war, and dropped people into the deepest depths of terror. The soldiers of the royal capital, S-ranked adventurers, the various heroes, those called rulers, we killed them all. The people wailed in despair, and we believed that the glory of our demon army would forever continue, but to think that we would end up being sealed by those detestable G.O.ds. Indeed, on that day, the G.O.ds all worked together and turned their blades to us, and not only Zorg-sama, but all powerful members of the demon army had their souls sealed by the G.O.ds. Moreover, our bodies as demons were destroyed, and our souls were sealed in the bodies of humans, beastmen, and other exceptionally inferior species. What disgrace! And those who were not sealed were destroyed even to the soul, and our demon army was literally erased. Hoo-hoo, it has been several thousand years, and even those sealed souls escaped from their bindings. Many fell victim to those detestable G.O.ds in the previous war, but we've finally revived. Thinking back on it, ever since the time that I lived as a frail human, there was a sense of discomfort in the corner of my mind. My memories as a demon that I tried to, but couldn't recall. And then, I finally remembered. I was not a puny existence such as a human. I was a demon, an absolute conqueror, an existence who could with but a brief show of their power, crush and destroy any and all beings. I had woken up a few days ago as Demon General Camilla. At any rate, I have only just awakened. So that I could get used to this body, and collect information about the outside world, I stayed low and acted with my temporary family. But, I have reached my limit. Despite being a puny existence, that Tilea human knew no discretion. She would readily touch me. I even considered killing her, but I was concerned about the state of the G.O.ds, so it wasn't prudent to be conspicuous, and so I suppressed my anger. These last few days, I had been sneaking out in the shadow of the night, and getting in touch with my earlier awakened kin. According to their information, those G.O.ds had not lived through the war unscathed, and lost a great deal of their power, and presently those G.O.ds are as good as powerless. It is a good time, isn't it? My retainers have all awakened. It seems that today, as the right hand of Zorg-sama and the one who controls the 6 demon generals, Viceroy Hitler will be giving everybody their orders in Tilea Cave. Under the banner of Zorg-sama, it is the revival of the demon army. My heart dances with joy. While I was unable to suppress the excitement in my heart, that human touched me again. Timu, is this where you were? It's time to help out at the shop, you know. An overfamiliar voice. I no longer have any reason to hide my ident.I.Ti. Human, choose your words wisely. I am one of the 6 demon generals under Demon King Zorg, Camilla. Fear me. Shudder as much as you like. I let out my overpowering killing intent. Timo, it seems that she's petrified from my overwhelming power. There is no human that can take my killing intent and stay themselves. I am surprised that she did not die from shock on the spot, but I have only just revived, so I am probably not at my best. Well, no matter. Today is one that should be celebrated, for my kin have all awakened. Out of mercy, I shall spare your life. Indeed. I care not for the life of a single human. Here begins the demon army's trampling of the world. It is merely a difference of dying today, or dying tomorrow. Without spending my fangs on some puny existence, I headed for Tilea Cave. Running once in a while is nice too. In the previous war, I rode my kin, the magic beast Gargan, and rampaged freely in all directions. My magic beast Gargan has revived as well, and I can ride it, but it is on standby. From now on I will work them hard whether they wish it or not. I shall let them rest for today at least. After running for a while, I strangely felt a gaze. Am I being tailed? I turned my head, but N.O. body was there. Am I being targeted by an S-rank adventurer or the like? No, unless they are a demon like me, and moreover at the level of a demon general, following me would be impossible. Is it my imagination? I have only just awakened. The pressure I emitted earlier was lacking after all, so I am probably not in my normal condition. Having come to that conclusion, I headed to the cave where my companions awaited. When I entered the cave, some familiar people appeared. The demonic birdman Bard, and the demonic dragonoid Drag were there as well. The distinguished upper members of the demon army had gathered. Camilla, we've been waiting. The powerful voice of the viceroy resounded through the surroundings. As always, it is a majestic voice. And moreover, overflowing mana is being emitted from the viceroy's armor. Even though the viceroy has only just awakened, he has more mana than in the previous war. Without using mana to probe, I can't really say, but my guess is that he has over 50% more power than at the time of the previous war. Your mana is powerful as always, Viceroy. Our dearest wish is almost here, after all. My training has been enthusiastic. Then it is truth that Zorg-sama's revival is close at hand. Indeed. With good timing, everyone has gathered. I'm about to speak of the details. The Viceroy gathered everyone in the clearing. I quickly lined up as well. The Viceroy spoke of how Zorg-sama's revival was close, and how with the revival, we would need human sacrifices. Finally, the Viceroy gave a command, and the many demons departed to attack the important locations of the human side. And then, my Camilla unit was given the mission of destroying the most important location of all, the royal capital. My subordinates and I can run wild for the first time in thousands of years. While I was secretly excited, one human suddenly came and stood before us. Ah.E.L.Lo, I'm Timu's older sister, Tilea. It seems that lately you've been kind enough to let Timu play with you. Because of this sudden situation, even the viceroy and I were lost for words. And then, that human turned to me, and, Timu. What happened to helping out at the store? I'm not saying that you can't play at all. But you need to do the things you're supposed to, of all things, she began to lecture me. Chapter 4, I was .H.I.T by my little sister. I turned to Timu and sternly scolded her, but for some reason the atmosphere is a little strange. The members who were about to leave earlier all turned back and began surrounding me. Their stares are painful. Are they angry? No, it would be better to call it bloodl.u.s.t. Why? Oh, c.r.a.p. Today's gathering was for the Demon King Revival event. Everyone had completely changed into their characters for the event. You could say that all the predict.I.P.ants were acting as realistically as possible. In particular, that armored man's speech had enough impact that it wouldn't be strange even if you called it the real thing. In this perfectly acted world, I barged in with reality. With this many people attending, there's bound to be some Chuyunibio predict.I.P.ants mixed in, but the majority of them might actually be people who normally work seriously, and who predict.I.P.aided as their only enjoyment. And among the predict.I.P.ants are dragonoids and birdmen as well. They're not races that live in this area. They probably traveled from far, far away for this event. In the face of these people, my remark just now was clearly a breach of manners. What do? I've really wrecked the world they've created, haven't I? While I was regretting having caused everybody trouble, human. You have done well finding this place. For you to have broken through 2 layers of barriers is, said the armored man to me. Oh. I see. He's making it so that my intrusion here is part of the event too, isn't it? Good job, armored man. Geez, when I first saw this man in armor I was thinking so much cringe, but then why is he? From his attention to detail and his demeanor, it might be that this armored man is actually a wholesale store manager, or the president of a company. Even in an event like this he's taking his role seriously, so there's a good chance of it being true. Kill them. Kill the human. Kiahi. I'll make you cry nicely. Hi-ha, my first human meet in a while. In response to the armored man, the people around made an uproar. The event predict.I.P.ants had begun acting as the Demon King Army's soldiers. Mn. It seems that everybody has understood the situation, huh? Everybody can read the mood. And the acting is amazing. This atmosphere really feels like I'm going to get torn apart. In particular, that beastman drooling with his mouth hanging open looks like he's going to bite into me at any second. I can't lose to them either. Right now my role is that of the hero who entered the barriers of the Demon King Army. Given that, how should I act from now on? While I was considering various lines, Timu walked briskly before me. I don't know how you found this place, but you sure are a fool. Timu, if I remember correctly, the setting was that she was the demon general Camilla, right? Her realistic acting is so cute. But you know, playtime is over. It's time to go home now. Human, even if only temporarily, you were my elder sister. I will at least give you a painless death. Heh? What do you may a wah? Timu drew a knife hand to my neck at a speed that seemed to leave a flash. The sound of an impact resounded through the room but, the knife hand was stopped soundly by my neck. Impossible? The strike that I put my mana into was, Timu panicked as though something impossible had happened. Surely you did not show mercy to them. Viceroy, that is an insult to me. I put in enough power to even bisect a dragon. Is that true? Impossible, Camilla of the Flash is pathetic. The people around us began to loudly make a fuss. I could feel something fall straight to the ground inside me. Timu hit me. And it hurt quite a bit too. It might have left a bruise on my neck. With my little sister acting violently towards me for the first time, I was stricken with shock. Chapter 5, What's with this Chuyunibyo-ji-san? For skills, I'm doing it opposite to J.A. Pains. The readings are outside, while the meaning is in brackets for my TL. BTW, I'm going to go back and change pot from the earlier chapters to saucepan. I don't cook, so it turns out that pot means something a little more specific than what I thought it did. Timu hit me. She raised her hand against her older sister. Probably using these Demon Army theatrics as an excuse, she hit me as revenge for the scolding earlier. As I thought, nothing good comes out of excessive Chuyunibyo. I remember how in my past life, I was too much of a Chuyunibyo, and raised my hands against my parents. My parents were nagging because they were worried about my future, so I threw things at them, and rampaged. On top of that, I even spat out I am the evil G.O.D, dark matter. Future? Job? In the face of the crisis this world faces, they are meaningless. It is all foolishness, in the end, and locked myself up in my room. My parents couldn't do a thing about me, and just looked sad. I don't want Timu to experience that too. I swore that this time I would treasure my family. Timu is probably in her rebellious phase right now. Since the year began, we've made Timu do nothing but help around the shop after all. I have fun helping with both the shop and the cooking, so I just ended up summing that Timu would feel the same. Yeah. Timu is still a kid, at an age where she wants to play. Because I've been too engaged with my cooking, I haven't really played with Timu recently. There's no mistake that Timu ended up aiding in this sort of gathering because she was lonely. Timu, I'm sorry. But there are things that you should do, and things that you shouldn't. Staying out until late at night. Raising your hand to your family when they scold you. For the sake of her future, as her older sister, I need to make it clear what's acceptable and what isn't. I'll steal my heart. In my old world, the world debatedly zionately about whether corporal punishment was right or wrong. I think that the key is whether or not there's love behind it. I want Timu to grow up to be a fine adult. That's why even if she ends up hating me, right now I need to swing the cane of love. Oh wait, hang on. There are too many eyes here. Doing something like that in public will just have the opposite effect. On the contrary, there's a chance that she'll rebel and then deflate. People do often say not to scold children in public after all. What should I do? While I was agonizing over how I should discipline Timu, Camilla, I'll leave the disposal of that human to you. Everyone, let us depart. Suddenly, the armored man said that, and brought everyone outside the cave. Oh. As expected of armored man-san. Capable men really are different. Without destroying the mood of the event, he basically said the rest is up to your family to discuss, okay? And left us alone. With this, I can't refer to him without san anymore, huh? After I conveyed my gratitude to armored man-san through my eyes, I turned to Timu to scold her. MN? There's still one person left. Amongst everyone around us leaving one by one man remains standing by Timu's side. He's maybe 60, I guess? His hair is silver gray, he's tall, and has a stylish mustache. He's wearing a suit with an emblem at the torso, and looks like somebody you'd find in a Hollywood film. I guess you could describe him as a stylish older gentleman. Why's he still here? Even though armored man-san went through all that trouble to be considerate, he's ruining it all. Even though everybody else understood armored man-san's true intentions and kindly went outside. Ji-san, learn to read the atmosphere. Camilla-sama, please leave this to me. Saying that, the Ji-san stepped out before Timu as though to protect her, and faced me in a fighting stance. What the heck? He plans on entering battle mode? What the heck does he mean by glaring at me with an even more fearless expression? Nielsen, there's no need for you to step forward. I have received my orders. No, you have only just awakened, Camilla-sama. I do not believe you are at your full strength yet. This is a job for I, the captain of your household guard. I need to have a chat with Timu, human, you have brought disgrace upon Camilla-sama. I shall have you compensate with your life. I'm going to ask just in case, but could it be that you're serious? He knows that everything that's happened is just an event, right? The bloodthirst in his glares has been no joke for a while now, but... Am I serious, you ask? Consider it an honor. For I shall allow you to witness my ultimate secret technique. Ultimate secret technique? You can't mean the Jisen has his hands clenched into fists and looks incredibly fired up. It's vigorous enough that his body is trembling, and it seems like his veins will pop. Secret technique, bomber fire, super demonic flame burst fist. I have a bad feeling about this. He's serious. He's seriously become Camilla's subordinate, and has freaking taken Armored Man-san's words at face value. This guy's a Chuyunibiuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuu Ji-san charged forward and thrust out his fist at my head. His fist struck my temple dead on. Ow! This guy seriously hit me. The Ji-san is beating me up. His fist accurately hit my chin up, and then he drove it into my stomach. Is this guy right in the head? I am technically a girl, you know. And despite that, this guy is beating me up without hesitation. Thinking about it normally, this is a.s.salt, and would be a no-go, socially. S.H.I.T, that was scary. From the very beginning he let out a war cry and came flying towards me to hit me, so I was shocked. But, he's weak. Way too weak. How do I say this? His fists themselves don't have any real power behind them. Why? It feels like a crying primary schooler hitting you in a tantrum. An elderly Ji-san is frantically hitting a girl with all his might. The scene is way too surreal. Considering his cringeworthy actions, and the Choyuni-esque lines he's been spewing, and the fact that he can't separate reality from play, there's probably no way this guy has a job. There's no mistaking it. This Ji-san is this world's version of an M.A.N, middle-aged NEET. Alright. This is a good chance to make Timo look at reality. I'll show her just how hopeless a person suffering an acute case of Chuyunibyo is. It would be simple to just shake him free, but I decided to continue letting him hit me. Ha! H-A-H-P. Yeah. The Ji-san continued driving his fists into me, screaming kies all the while. See? Look, Timo. Look at this disappointing Ji-san. If you don't get a job like an adult, avert your eyes from reality, and continue to immerse yourself in fantasy, this is how you'll end up, you know. I wonder if Timo has understood. When I chanced to glance at Timo, I found that she was gazing at the Ji-san in worry. Her gaze looks worried for the Ji-san. But why? Why is she worried for this dangerous Ji-san who'll even attack girls? I see. I'm sure that there's a good chance that this Ji-san is the reason for Timo becoming a Chuyunibyo. He kept going Camilla-sama, and made her feel important. And then he took advantage of her lonely heart to progressively worsen her Chuyunibyo. It's definitely possible. If you think about it like this, even if he's a dangerous Ji-san who'll attack somebody who looks like a girl, from Timo's point of view, he might seem like a knight who's protecting her from the enemy. Dam.net. It seems that Timo's Chuyunibyo is an even more advanced case than I had predicted. Thinking about it like that, this Ji-san really p.I.s.ses me off, huh? When all's said and done, he's the culprit behind pulling Timo onto the path of misfortune, Chuyunibyo. And moreover, I'm getting really sick of being punched by this guy. Even though the Ji-san's breathing has gotten rough, he's continuing to hit me even now. Even though I'm getting hit, I wasn't really sure about getting violent with a complete stranger, but I've had enough. You, cut it out already. U.A.M.Ned Chuyuni B.A.S.T.A.R.D. I grabbed the hand that was .H.I.ding me, and thrust him back. Being shoved by me, he lost his balance. Ji-san's body is completely open now. My chance. I dashed forward towards the Ji-san's stomach and drove my fist in. Punishment. 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 Like a boxer, I throw straights at Ji-san's face, jaw, and solar plexus, all clean hits. Guha, gahu, goha. Ha, ha w, what terrifying speed and weight those punches have. I'll die. After suffering my fists, Ji-san slumped to the floor on the spot. Even the words he gave when collapsing stank of Chuyuni. I'll die, he says. As if they had that much power. But well, it was probably unexpected for this Ji-san too. He probably didn't think it was possible that he'd lose to a young girl like me, after all. But life doesn't always go as you plan. Even if I look like this, I'm a cook, my muscles are trained from always shaking up the saucepan. If it's somebody like a powerless NEET Ji-san, I can take him down with ease. TL, middle-aged, or above, NEET, is a set phrase in J.A.Pan. The meaning is as you can see. That's why I put it as an abbreviation to make it look like a set phrase that everybody uses. Nielsen Armored Man-san.